I'd like to welcome everybody to April 1st Wilton Town Board meeting. I'm going to start with a pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bill, would you do a roll call, please?
Sure. Supervisor Lant,
Here.
Deputy Supervisor McEachran,
Here.
Councilman Bogardus,
Here.
Councilwoman Culligan,
Here.
Councilman O'Connor.
Here.
All present and accounted for. Somebody want to make a motion to suspend the public comment?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Passed. Somebody make them, if you all read the minutes from last month, somebody want to make a motion to approve last month's minutes?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Are you on, Margot?
Let me go find her.
Far in the woods. There's only so many places she can hide.
Okay, she's coming in.
All right, I think I'm here. You got me?
It's nice to see you and hear from you again, Margot.
Nice to be here.
You want to give your quarterly report, please?
Yes. There's some nice things about these Zoom meetings, not having to go out on a nasty night like tonight.
Yes.
So thank you for
Everything going good?
this first quarter of 2020 was, really pretty good for Wilton Wildlife Preserve and Park. I don't know, for people who don't like snow in winter, maybe they don't feel the same way. But for the park users and for people who really look forward to getting outside in winter, the winter really cooperated this year for the first time in a long time. We had excellent snow coverage on the trails, so people could get out. There wasn't a time that I think people go by. If you were to drive by on Scout Road, you would find, the parking lots there, parking lot 1, and, full of people, getting out and enjoying the facilities at Camp Saratoga. So we were able to do 24 days where we rented cross-country skis and snowshoes out of the health lodge there off of parking lot number 1 from the old Boy Scout camp. And we had over 800 people of all ages, little toddlers. We have enough, sizes of snowshoes that a whole family can go out for, with 2-year-olds all the way up into seniors. Everyone can get out and enjoy. We were able to groom the trails. So some of our volunteers and our staff would go out and groom the trails. Having that new grooming building that was part of the Eagle Scout project that the town helped to build. I know Scott was really instrumental in getting that built and working with those volunteers from the Scout troop. Just made it even that much easier having that in and out access with those garage doors, with them be able to pull right in. So that really, was great. That was really great. Just like speaking of Scott, we also, it was just terrific, the work that he and other town employees put in that skating rink there, on the parade ground. Just really.
Did that get used a lot?
It did. It did get used quite a bit. I mean, it was later in the winter, I think, by the time, all of the ice was in place. But I think that, that once it was out there and then we were, publicizing it on our website and on our social media, we saw a lot of use. And I think, once people get used to it, and if it's there again next year, which I hope it will be.
It will be. I'd like to thank Ryan and Scott for doing that. They did a great job.
Thank you, Ryan. So that was great. That was great. It just really adds to the facility and to, the opportunities for the community there at Camp Saratoga. So that was just, yeah. So it was great. I would say a great start of the year. It really does mean so much, as I said, for people to be able to get outdoors, and it makes the winter go by faster. So another aspect, of that was just how well the parking lots are plowed, the roads are plowed, so that, even after a storm, when people are eager to get out, it's really great, that people can get right there and get out and start doing their winter recreation. So again, kudos to all the crews.
That's Ryan's leadership. Ryan does a great job giving orders.
All right. So we still saw some impacts of COVID in some of our programming, especially with schools. A lot of schools are still, not up to full service. But we did work with some. We've been working with Ballard Road Elementary School. They did some virtual programs with us in the first quarter, and we've actually been scheduling with them. They have plans for some in-school programs with us, and are going to be coming to the preserve for a field trip later in the spring. They're submitting for the essay contest, and we worked with some of the local Boy Scout and Girl Scout troops who came for snowshoe walks and winter discovery hikes, and so that's always fun to do. And there's a Wilton resident who started something called Open Air Sports. And so for 6 weeks, we had groups that came and did all kinds of different snowshoe nature walks through that. I wish I knew her name. I'm sorry, I don't. But it's called Open Air Sports. So we've been doing some planning, getting ready for some different volunteer projects. With it being April, we're starting our woodcock surveys for the community science project. Just Tuesday night, we had 30 participants via Zoom getting trained for our virtual, it was a virtual frog watch training for that community science program. We've been planning, we had a meeting with the DEC, with the biologist, and we've got plans underway to support her work out on the state land there. And we have plans to work with her on Earth Day, and we'll also have some volunteer projects that we're planning at Nealman Parcel over there on Ruggles Road for Earth Day. I know that we've also got plans with the, it's called Capital Prism. I don't remember what it stands for, but it has to do with invasive species. And we'll be working with them to help keep invasive species out of the Camp Saratoga and the other parcels. I know they had removed something called Japanese stilt grass that was over at the Nealman parcel. And last year they worked, and we had volunteers who helped get the Asian water chestnut out of the Delegan Pond. And there's plans to remove that chestnut, water chestnut again from Delegan Pond. And I guess they said after doing that for a couple of years, then, we should hopefully be clear, and we will just have to kind of keep maintenance on it to keep that species from taking over the pond. In terms of some of our other partners, I mentioned DEC. We work with the Striders Club, and they did get their permit from DEC to do their summer runs, their 5K runs out at Camp Saratoga this summer. And I know they're looking forward to being able to provide, that opportunity for the community, because I know a lot of people like to sign up and do those summer runs. And we did just hear we got the Arts Council grant again. So we're hoping with COVID restrictions, we'll still be able to maybe on a smaller scale, still do a couple of those music programs, the blues for the Carner Blues that we did out at the park, not last summer, but the summers before. So some planning, some good start of the year. And so we're looking forward to the warmer weather, the sunshine, the flowers, the butterflies. And so people enjoying a different season, a new season at the preserve and park. So
Anybody got any questions for Margot?
Margaret, just a comment. I saw your calendar of events for next week while the kids are off. There's a lot of good stuff going on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We've been very looking forward to the vacation week, to some of these programs. It's really nice to be able to work with the school kids during their breaks. We also work with the preschoolers when it's not school break week. We have a monthly preschool program, and we've been doing a lot more with retired and seniors. The Academy for Lifelong Learning. We just finished doing winter programs with them. We're in their spring calendar. The program filled up, so they've added a second shift for us.
Wow.
So we'll be having twice as many of the seniors through that Academy of Lifelong Learning going out for, it's called Walking in Nature, because, Ray, I don't have to tell you how important, it is for people's health, their mental health, for their social well-being, to be out with other people, breathing that fresh air, moving their bodies. And so the trails there really are a wonderful resource. And we're really happy to be able to get people out and kind of show off, the wonderful facilities of our partners like the town, like DEC.
Anything
Thank you
more?
again.
Anything more, Margot?
Oh, no, I'm done.
Okay.
Unless someone has any other questions.
No, great job, though.
Oh, well, thank you, John.
Great job. Thank you very much.
Thank
Giving
you,
us that
Margo.
report.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Margo.
See you in a couple months.
Okay. Intent to accept land on that E Road subdivision. You want to speak about that, Ryan?
Yes, I will. And Josh, if I could have you bring over Scott Lansing. And so board, you're familiar, I think, with this location. It's a conservation subdivision located on Edie Road between Route 50 and Loudon Road. And with any conservation subdivision, sometimes there's lands within the subdivision that could be donated to the town for open space. And usually we look at the lands to see what public benefit there would be with the lands. And this particular piece, has a nice stream flowing along the back edge, I'll say the northern edge of the subdivision property. And took a walk out there with Josh and Scott Harrington on Tuesday to just evaluate the property. And it looked nice. This is actually a picture of the stream behind me here. It's kind of a nice stream, flows through there, and it's got some nice terrain to it. But obviously, I encourage the board to go out and check it out. Take a walk in the woods there and just kind of see it for yourselves and see if it's something you'd be interested in obtaining for the town, and the applicant providing a trail network. So in the big picture, this particular piece of land could have some connectivity to other state lands, town lands, and future developments within this area. There's a couple other large parcels of land that probably will be developed in other residential subdivisions. So, it's something to really take a look at and consider. So with that being said, I'll introduce Scott Lansing from Lansing Engineering. He is the engineer on this project, and he can walk you through, his plans here and show you exactly the location of the open space that the applicant is willing to dedicate to the town. Go ahead.
Okay, good evening. My name is Scott Lansing with Lansing Engineering. I'm representing New York Development Group of Saratoga. I'm not sure if they were possibly promoted to panelists as well. They may have input also, but Ryan did a great job of outlining what we are proposing generally. The overall parcel is about 86 acres. We are proposing a 39 lot conservation residential subdivision. Edie Road is located right in this area. And then we have Amy Lane that wraps around in this area. So connection on Edie Road coming in, servicing the lots. We are proposing one lot as the homestead lot. That is where the current landowner resides. So that lot will be separated off as a 2-acre lot, and the balance of the lots will be throughout the parcel. As a part of the conservation residential subdivision, we are meeting all the requirements for the prescribed open space. In accordance with section 109-21G1, there is a provision that with acceptable open space to the town board, we are afforded a 10% density bonus. The project as shown right now does include that density bonus. So there are 4 additional lots shown on this plan. As far as the open space that we are proposing to the town, it is approximately 13 acres is highlighted in the green. We have it so that it does follow the Bog Meadow Brook, which follows the entire property line along the northwest section of the property. As a part of that open space, we wanted to make sure it had access on the proposed roadway as well. So it has access not only for the residents within the project, but the public as well. Bog Meadow Brook, as Ryan outlined, a very nice water feature. The open space that we're proposing along with it does include all of that water feature that's on our property, as well as the buffers to that, the vegetation around that brook, and the open space, preservation of the vegetation along that route. Just for some background on the Bog Meadow Brook, this is our parcel right here. Might be kind of hard to see below that text, but that is where we are. So that is our 86 acres. So this is the section of the Bog Meadow Brook that open space would be positioned. Bog Meadow Brook starts approximately in this area, just northeast of our parcel. Goes down, eventually connects into Lake Lonely, which goes to the Cateros Creek, and then Saratoga Lake. Saratoga County Map Viewer does a great job of showing adjacent parks and trails. So up in the northeast area, we do have the Wilton Wildlife Preserve and Park, which you're obviously very familiar with. And then down on the southwest area, we have the Loudon Road trail system. Further down to the south, we have the Bog Meadow Trail. But this is positioned, essentially right in the middle. So we see this as a very nice link in a chain of potential future trails. So we think it does have a very high benefit for the town in the future. So that is essentially it. As Ryan did mention, we welcome board members out to take a look at it and experience it for yourselves. And we look forward to working with the board for the potential dedication of the land to the town. Thank you very much.
Before you go, can you put the second map? Right. So you said there's going to be an area where the residents can access that trail, and also people that don't live in that development?
Basically, the open space would follow along the Bog Meadow Brook. There is a section right in this area where the proposed right-of-way for the subdivision would be immediately adjacent to that open space area. So the town would have access through that area. The residents would have access through that area. If there were a potential future trail, that could be an area where there could be a
What I'm getting, would there be like a parking area for outsiders, or just a trailhead?
At this time, the applicants are proposing the land for dedication to the town for potential future trails, or however the town sees fit. There are no plans at this time for a trailhead or a park or anything like that.
Don, do any of the trails cross property lines, or is it pretty much away from all property lines?
Right now, it's pretty much away from the property lines. This is our parcel right here. So there are some gaps between the adjacent trail system.
I'm not looking for a repeat of Craw Farms.
Right. So
Yeah, none of the trails would be similar to what we have in Craw Farm now. So all the trails would be on town-owned land. So we wouldn't have any easement trails.
No, my concern was where he was pointing to where potentially somebody who don't live in that subdivision could enter And if, as long as we're not gonna put a parking lot there, I don't think it's gonna affect lot. I can't see the lot numbers, but
There's quite a space between the lot numbers where the proposed trail head is, as far as I can see.
Yeah, each one of the lots are, the frontage requirement is 125 feet. So, that's probably, I don't know, 375 feet, something in that range, roughly.
Yeah. So this particular lot right here is a stormwater management area.
right.
It would be a town-owned stormwater management area. What the thought would be is, I don't know if you could go out to the county imagery, Scott, on that. Just you could show them the larger picture here. So this is the piece here. And, this is town-owned land here. This piece back here. These right in here are owned by state. So there's potentially, you could have a trail come out onto Edie Road, connect into here, travel
Right.
down through this
I get that
subdivision,
one. I don't
down to
want-
Mountain Road.
I don't want any potential issues between the two lots where that section, where you would enter that area to get to them trails. I don't, like we had that issue in Craw Farms. I don't want a repeat of. So if we're planning on putting a parking space in there, we don't want to, you don't essentially want to put a parking lot after houses are built, and then they're like, well, what's this all about?
Yeah, John, you make a good point, because I was thinking the same thing about making sure that future residents, owners of the homes are, emphatically
Well aware.
informed that there will likely be a trail system, even if it's not on their properties, that it's going to be located behind their homes, so they don't have that issue. And Scott, I was also wondering if you had talked to your client about, if the town was amenable to taking this as open space, if your client would be amenable to cutting a trail in terms of as perhaps one of the conditions of approval.
I can check with them on that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
The trail that's proposed, is that just gonna be a pedestrian trail, or are we looking at motorized vehicles as well, like snowmobile, dirt bikes?
That would be pedestrian only, non-motorized vehicles.
All right,
Yeah,
good.
There's no motorized vehicles there now, so.
Yeah. And to comment on Ray's, that would be one of the conditions that the real estate mapping must show this trail. Usually real estate agents have, more of a rendering of a subdivision. And it was going to be part of, their approval process that's shown, the trail is shown. So no one is surprised at the end that there is a trail within the subdivision behind their homes.
And I'd be satisfied with that.
Ryan, this isn't actually an existing trail right now, right? It's just the Bog Meadow, it's the creek trail.
Correct.
So that trail would need to be created to actually be in existence.
Correct.
Right now, it's not actually a trail.
Correct. And I would ask the applicant, like Ray mentioned, to develop this trail, work with, obtaining any permits and working on, I was back there. It doesn't need a lot of earthwork or clearing of trees. It's very open wooded area, and, work with the agencies to get the approvals to do this and make that happen.
Yep. Thank you, Scott.
Anybody got anything more?
No, sounds good.
Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a good night.
Sir. The draft MS4, Ryan, you want to speak about that, please?
Yes, I just wanted to mention to the board and to the audience and public that the draft annual report is available for review. So that's the stormwater report. There's an annual report that's produced every year. There's a lot of data, number of miles the highway has swept streets, parking lots, catch basins cleaned, and exciting information that if anybody wants to review it, that the draft annual report is available. That's all I have to say, unless you got questions.
Any questions for Ryan?
No, I've seen the sweeper out. It looks good.
Good. Number 8, that 30-day waiver for liquor license application. Aska Asian Fusion, you wanna speak about that, Sue?
Sure, there's a new owner for Osaka Asian Fusion, 3084 Route 50, which it's in the same plaza as TJ Maxx. They are looking for a 30-day waiver for the advance notice for a liquor license, which I
What was the
think we did
purpose of
that
it?
last month.
It's the same thing we had to do for the golf course last month.
Right.
It's just that overlap in time it takes to get the paperwork done.
Yeah. I'll make a motion, we approve.
We have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Okay, local law number 1, 2020 cemeteries. We have to set a public hearing. Sue, would you want to talk about that and even the history of that cemetery?
Sure. Gurn Springs Cemetery was privately owned up until about the year 2000, when the town took it over. It was deeded to us. From that point forward, we didn't have any rules or regulations regarding burials and stones and monuments and artificial things in the cemetery. So we really need to tighten up the rules and regulations. We've had a few issues and
I was gonna say, have we seen anything that
yes.
brought this on?
Well, the
And
highway,
go ahead.
go ahead, Sue.
I spoke to Mike Monroe and Kirk Woodcock, and Mike was on board with it. He needed to clear it with Kirk, and they are both fine with the highway department taking over the digging of graves.
And the last one they did for us, they did an excellent job, and I think it would be
They did.
better. I think it'd be better if we're in control of it with the highway department.
So the
Somebody
only
want-
thing I really do need, unless there's any questions, is to set the public hearing for May 6th at 7 o'clock.
You
I'll
wanna
make a motion to set the public hearing.
Second, all in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Sue.
You're welcome.
We have an unsafe building at 173 Traver Road. Set a public hearing for that. Mark, you on?
Yes, he is.
You want to speak
Josh,
about it, Mark?
Mark Mikens, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
And he's coming over.
You awake, Mark?
Mark needs a haircut.
I get a nap.
Mark, you really changed yourself.
A much
It's
better.
all
look.
so
What
confusing.
an improvement before.
Oh, reality just struck.
So this is actually Trey Tom Development, which is Ferone's company. I don't know if it's junior or if it's senior. Junior was living in the home for years. Burned down last year. We talked to him a couple times about it. We've sent him a couple letters. The last time we talked to him, they said it was going to be taken down. This was in December. They said it was going to be taken down then. It wasn't. And we have kids out there partying and putting graffiti all over the place. So it's become a community issue. We're starting to get more and more complaints about it. So we're looking to just have the building removed. We've sent him notice again to see if he'll do anything in the next 30 days. And
Now will he be responsible for that in the tax roll? For
So-
the cost?
what happens with that is once this goes through public hearing, if he hasn't started demolition, then yes, we would, Sue would take that, she sends all this to the county. If we have to tear it down, then it gets levied against his tax roll, the tax roll next year, correct, Sue?
I think that's what we did with that mobile home.
Yes,
Correct.
yes, that's correct.
What do you need from us? Set a public hearing?
We need to set the public hearing.
Same date,
Motion to set a public
Bill?
hearing.
I'll second.
same date.
May 6th at 7:01.
We got a motion and a second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passed. Thank you, Mark.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good night.
Good night, Mark.
Thanks, Marky Mark.
Our Public Employees Health Emergency Plan, Maria, speak about that.
That was a lot of reading.
Hi, everyone.
it
Yeah, that
was.
was a lot of reading. Yes. Everyone. And
Put a lot
Erin,
of time in it.
Erin, a very happy birthday.
Oh,
Ah,
Thank you.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
almost
Birthday,
got away.
Yeah, but not quite.
Didn't want to out you, but you mentioned it in an email, so I figured it was safe. So the Public
Thank you.
Employer Health Emergency Plan was a governor's initiative back in September, like Labor Day weekend. This executive order came about that required public employers like towns, counties, school districts to create a plan. The town board is responsible for, signing off on this plan to say that this is what we're going to do. It's not just for a COVID type of event, it's for any health event that would force us to, close down or, do something similar to what we did before. And we've been there and done it before, but now it's just in a documented plan. I think it was a good exercise because it got the departments to individually think about who's on first, what's on second, how would we operate, what really needs to get done versus what can be done, at a later time, who's essential. The interesting thing is that the definition of essential personnel changed from when we started the COVID response. Essential meant all department heads, and we kind of created that ourselves because we needed some kind of structure or framework around which to work. Under this Public Employers Health Emergency Plan law, an essential person is a person who has to be on site, whether it's, in the building or perhaps even in the field. So it could be our highwaymen who are going to be on the road. It could be our land admin person, or Ryan who is in the field, out there doing work. So it kind of expanded the scope actually of who is determined to be essential. So that's why it was a really good exercise for everybody to kind of think about what they had to do. It also forced us to think about, well, not forced us, we were always thinking about it, but it made us think a little bit more about how much PPE, how much PPE we have on hand, per essential person. So we have an inventory, we have our stock of masks, and we're working on our gloves, which we have some, but we want to get more. So it was a good exercise. I don't know if anybody had any questions about the actual plan. Okay. It was a template that was provided by an emergency services solutions outfit who was kind enough to give a presentation at the Association of Towns and provide a framework from which the towns can, kind of dovetail off of this plan. So it created a consistent plan from town to town, which is a very good outcome. So there you have it.
I imagine it's also help us, not that everybody is an essential, but kind of who needs to be on site, who could work from home, what everybody is needed to be at home.
Exactly. And what peripherals and computer equipment those people who can work from home should have. Exactly.
Hopefully we never need it again, but
I agree. But
hopefully
if we
we're prepared if we do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go right into the next topic on the agenda, which is the Comptroller's report. So our budget amendments, which is action item 1, has 2 items that we're going to actually be pulling money from fund balance on, which is not my favorite thing to do at all. But we do have a surplus that we know is going to move into a capital project and not capital project, a capital equipment and reserve fund eventually. So we know we have fund balance available for these expenditures, is my point. So the first item is for a lawnmower for the park. We went to the county. We used a vendor who is sourced in Saratoga County, in Clifton Park specifically, for this mower for the park.
So it's
That's
count,
it?
it's a contract. Yep, I'm sorry.
That is in the county of Saratoga?
Yes, it's
Oh,
in
good.
Clifton Park, yes.
I mean,
Go ahead.
Perfect.
you know, we got two prices. One was from Washington County and one was from Saratoga County, exact same prices. But I know when I became supervisor, I asked that if possible, our money be spent in Wilton, Saratoga, or Saratoga County, and I think we all agreed. And that's why I think it should be spent in Clifton Park, which is part of Saratoga County.
All right, we don't have a John Deere dealer up there on Ballard Road?
No, that's Husqvarna.
All right, yep, you're correct, sir. Good, keep the money in the county then.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Thank you. And the second item is for soccer goals for the park. Now that activities are starting to come back, Mark Marino is requesting money for the purchase of some new soccer goals.
Are these the goals themselves or just the netting? Because I know we have a lot of goals.
I
These are the
believe
goals.
these are the actual goals.
Yeah, did he check with our insurance company to see if anything could be recouped?
One of
or-
our storms, some of them did get damaged.
Okay.
I do
Wow.
remember him saying that.
But did we check with the insurance company to see if they would cover any of them because of the storm or FEMA or?
I don't believe they did, John.
I think they were damaged beyond any kind of repair and replacement wise. I don't think it was covered as a piece of equipment that would be covered insurance, for lack of a better word.
It was my understanding that they were picked up by the tornado, spun around and thrown. But, you know, when I found out they were like $2,000 a piece, I think I asked them to check with the insurance company to see if, you know, we could recoup anything, but maybe it didn't happen, or it didn't, they wouldn't cover it.
Well, you know what? I'm going to double check on that because I was not aware that it happened as a result of the tornado. That's the,
Right.
okay.
'Cause I
Okay.
thought-
And if it was $300, it was one thing, but then I found out they were like $2,000.
Right.
That might be worth
Right.
putting a claim in.
They are expensive. There's
Right.
Get some FEMA money for that too, didn't
seven.
we?
So we have FEMA for the COVID, and we have FEMA for the windstorm that happened separately from the tornado. The
Okay.
windstorm was October and the tornado was shortly thereafter.
Right.
You're right. Those two things happened very closely together, Dwayne.
It was,
Oh,
yeah,
my-
Halloween night of 2019.
Yes.
But it was my understanding that the tornado picked these things up
Yes.
and spun them around, twisted
Should
them.
have done
and
it in the morning.
That's what damaged all of them.
So Maria,
Yes.
we could theoretically approve the purchase of these and then try to get reimbursement through insurance or whatever.
Yeah.
So the park isn't
Yes.
on a waiting period to get these.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
So I'll make the motion to approve it.
All right.
I'll second that.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That was for the first two, right? Okay. And then the second item is the budget transfer that we'd like to do for a rental of a machine that is going to screen the topsoil pile that we have right outside the highway building. It's a huge pile and it contains a lot of, rocks and branches and such, and it needs to be sifted in order to be useful for road work.
Was all given to us. It was a good gift, I think.
And that rental's $6,300 and that's for,
Well, the rental is,
Granger.
yeah, the rental is actually 9,000. But we have about 3,000 left in another line that's going to be combined with. So it's J&K Trucking and Excavating, $9,300.
I actually spoke with Mike Monroe on this particular matter, and he informs me that they use a lot of topsoil, and he said by the rental of the screen, it would actually save us money in the long run.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm going to have to excuse myself from this vote because I have personal dealings with the owner of J&K Trucking.
I think we all do. No, I don't have personal dealings with them, but now my other question is that 9,300, that'll take care of the entire pile though. It's not like a weekly, monthly.
No, that is for a whole month, and I've been told it will take care of the whole pile, yes.
Okay.
So we
make
rent
a
the
motion.
equipment and the highway department uses it.
Yes,
Yeah.
We're not hiring labor or anything. It's just
No.
the equipment.
right.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we move forward on that.
I'll second.
Gonna vote on it, Supervisor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstained.
Thank you.
Pass?
Yeah.
All right, the next item is personnel. Mark Marino just wanted to kind of give advance notice, which I explained in an email, that he just wanted to kind of let the board know that he's interested in pursuing the hiring of 3 personnel items. So the first one will be a full-time program events coordinator who's going to take the place of the prior recreation leader who left in August of 2020. So this is just one item that's going to replace another. The program events coordinator is going to be responsible for helping with everything from a myriad of, summer camp issues and maybe events that will be done at the park. Mark would also like to pursue hiring a part-time employee for activities at the park. We had somebody before COVID who would help out with after school, would help out with summer camp and with open gym. She was kind of an all-around worker who's very beneficial to the park, and he would like to replicate that. So we did a little research about the title. She would be, or he would be, a recreation assistant, and part-time means 17.5 hours a week, no more. Because going over part-time would of course have implications for health insurance. So that has to be something that's adhered to. The third item is that Mark would like to have somebody part-time for maintenance, and also again would be part-time, meaning half the time of that somebody would be full-time. So under strict guidelines of the number of hours that that person could work every week. So this is just an informational thing to kind of let you guys be aware of, because COVID had a big impact on the personnel situation at the park. So this is just a heads up that, things are starting to ramp up, as you know, and that he would need personnel to help, with those duties associated with the additional activity. Mark Marino also wanted to formally request that Mike Lawback, who is a full-time employee, be allocated officially 100% to the park. When Mike Lawback was first hired full-time, he was kind of voted on by the board as somebody who would be working at the park, but also have some time to help out at town hall and the other buildings in town hall. Because of COVID, we needed the additional help keeping things clean and sanitized. So now that things are easing up a little bit in terms of the system that we have, whereby our building maintenance team is working hard and changing their hours to get that aspect taken care of with the sanitation and the cleaning of the town hall. Mark would like for Mike Lawback to be officially recognized over there. And in fact, Mike Lawback has been working mostly exclusively at the park anyhow, so.
Maria,
Yes.
And when we hired him, it was on a split item between the park and town hall, correct?
Correct, yes.
And we are currently down a item on the grounds people for Scott's
Yes, we are.
people.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm not sure if at this time we should kick him loose. I mean, he's beneficial at both places. If we're down an item at town hall, we're down an item at the park, if we make them all park, then we're gonna lose his capabilities at town hall. I don't think we're out of the woods with this COVID thing. So.
What is the purpose of the exclusiveness? I didn't really talk to Mark about it. I should have, but I mean, to me.
Mark felt that he needed Mike there more, so.
Is he needed at town hall right now based on?
So Roy and Scott are handling everything.
It looks like it's in pretty good shape in that building though, but they are trying to get a part-timer there though.
Right.
Yeah, but we haven't gotten one yet, is my concern.
No, that's right. But the building does look pretty good, I gotta say, for what, they only the 2 of them. They're
But we're
doing-
gonna be starting into lawn mowing season and all that stuff.
I know,
We're-
we're trying to get help. They're working on it right now. They You're on
I
something,
personally
right?
would like to still share them.
Huh?
I personally would like to keep them shared at this point because, you know, town hall, once they start working outside mowing lawns and trying to keep up with the interior of the buildings, they only got 2 people now.
Is Mark in the audience? Do we know?
He was.
I don't
We
see.
were also light-handed at the park for a month. Did he fill in those hours when we were a little light this winter?
I think he did the best he could. There was a couple of instances of overtime for that purpose. Yeah.
I mean, if he's a full-time employee, maybe it's naive. I'm not really concerned about where he puts in his hours as long as he puts them in and who has them. But if Mark's also looking for a half-time
Right.
employee,
Yeah, I see Dwayne's point.
is that a little overkill at the park? Like, do we need all that we're selling town hall short? I guess that's kind of my question. If we're filling 1.5 slots, how many slots are we actually vacant at the park that we're trying to backfill?
Well, my
Right.
concern also is Scott's crew of 2 at this point is going to be mowing lawns at the scout camp. Plus Scott's a project manager, so he'll be doing the the projects as well. He's short on personnel. The park has a few employees who can maintain. But I kind of would like to keep them split, and that's kind of how we hired them as a split item. I think Scott needs 50% help at this point until we can get him some help. Personally, that's my opinion.
Josh, was Mark in the audience or?
He was earlier.
I didn't see him. Mark, if you're still there, if you could raise your hand so I can pull you over from the list. Oh, there
No,
he is.
not Mark, Mikens.
Come on, Mikens.
No, Marino. Sorry.
A lot of marks, a lot of marks, a lot of marks.
A lot of Marks and Johns.
Right.
I'm just gonna see if I can get him to log on, but do we have to have an answer on this one right now?
No. No, this is more or less, especially the first couple of items was just informational, and then this one, we can just,
What about the first couple? Let's get that.
well, we don't have specific
There's
people
nothing.
on here.
Hey, Mark,
There's
can
no
you
specific
log
people.
back on to the Zoom meeting or no?
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought they said they saw you in the meeting.
I thought I saw him.
So, just pardon me for a minute.
He
You
was
can
there.
finish.
Someone want to play the Jeopardy music?
No, we should sing you a happy birthday.
Right, that's right.
Again, I'm not trying to
Looking
be
for birthday music.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's exactly right.
I had a couple classes at school this morning sing. It was lovely.
Nice. John, you're
Sorry,
on
John,
mute.
I put you
You're
on
muted.
mute.
All right, Mark's on the line now. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, so originally, when Mike was coming over to work full-time, because he was going to replace Steve Vance, because Steve Vance went up to Buildings and Grounds. So we needed to replace Steve Vance for 2 days during the week and the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's what Steve Vance's shift was. And Mike was interested in that position to do that, so we went through the days and stuff. Originally it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, but then we realized Friday's a prep day for baseball fields and all that, so we needed to go more what Steve Vance's schedule was Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Mike wanted to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because he wanted Thursday and Fridays off, but that wasn't going to work out. But he still wanted to work Steve Vance's schedule full time, and he still wanted benefits and all that. And then when COVID came, just as we were preparing to do that, he was shifted from 3 hours up at the town hall, and then 4 hours, the remaining 4 hours at the park. So he did go full time, but it was a temporary stay, if you will, to work at the town hall until Scott Harrington could find somebody else to cover that custodial work and all that stuff. So then once we were getting moving on from COVID and Roy came back and Scott had the manpower he needed, then we wanted Mike Laubach to work the schedule we're talking about, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. The custodial job, or where he came from, I looked up his weekly schedule. It was actually, I think, 20 hours, but he would work up to 25 hours. But he was only working a 4-hour shift 5 days a week. And so what we had presented to the town board tonight was Mike Laubach remaining at full-time at the park, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I saw him today. He was in agreement with that. And we still need that custodial job that he left when he was filling in for Steve Vance's schedule. We need to have a 20-hour part-time custodial / maintenance worker position filled, and then we would be fully staffed, because we had 6 people working at the park prior to COVID. And then when COVID came, obviously we cut back on the staffing. There was no need, I guess, at the time, but we need to get full staff now, because we have to keep up with the maintenance what we had before. We're starting to get a lot of activities back, so that's the only way we can keep up with it. Otherwise, we won't be able to accomplish all the things that get the fields prepped and we have activities and all that stuff.
Dwayne, did you want any questions for Mark, or yeah?
Well, obviously, Mark has made a statement that, Scott's up to his full capacity as far as personnel, which we are not. Michael was filling in for the absent of the person who resigned. So Scott, as I said, he's going to be starting mowing lawns at the camp and at town hall and outdoor responsibilities, plus indoor responsibilities with just 2 people. I would like to, Mark's looking to hire another part-time person. It looks like 1.5 items, and yet Scott is still shorthanded. So I would like to see Michael still be able to assist at town hall, because now we got scout camp to start worrying about and stuff like that, and projects that Scott's working on. My concern is Scott's going to be falling behind on his projects and town hall and mowing like that, unless we can jockey some other items around to help out at town hall. Scott's going to be short. Last year they were short as it was, with mowing lawns and keeping scout camp and trails and all that stuff going too. So my concern is Scott's going to fall behind on his details as well. The park, I'm not sure how many people they have as far as groundskeepers and stuff like that, who can help share some of the duties of the few hours that Michael's going to be at town hall. I know there's rainy days at the park where other people could be assigned other duties. I don't know. I think the town hall needs a person. I know we've been looking to get somebody there. We just haven't been able to. And I would hate to take the resource away from Scott, put into the park, and then town hall starts to suffer as far as groundskeeping and indoor maintenance stuff. It was just a concern of mine about moving them until we were able to fill Scott's items. So that's the only concern I have.
We have, if you look at our activities board, we have soccer. The rec soccer is going to be going outside. They'll be using all the soccer fields. We've got baseball using all the baseball fields. We have, literally 5 baseball fields, sometimes 6 to prep for the weekend. We have to when we cut the grass in the facility, it takes almost 2 days with 2 people on the 2 big reds to cut the grass. Once that starts all going, we have indoor activities continuing on right now. We have basketball going on, baseball practices and all that stuff. So we're getting both indoor and outdoor activities going on right now. We have Spark Catholic using our soccer fields every day, so we have to make sure they're lined and those are ready to go. The one thing that concerns me is that the park is a revenue. Our department brings in revenue for the town, and our goal is like $535,000 every year. And in order to do that, I need a full complement of staffing, 6 people. It'll affect the revenue and our customer service if I don't have a full staff. And I understand maintenance from the buildings department, but I believe we're the only department that brings in revenue for the town. And we really need to stay focused on, keeping up with that so that we have good service. Otherwise, things are going to fall through the cracks, and it's just going to be a bad reflection on how we service the residents and people who visit the park.
So how many employees do you have now? 5?
2 years ago, we were peaking or reaching a higher level of activities, facility rentals, pavilion rentals, all that stuff, and we had 6 people. We've had 6 people in the last 3.5 years or so since I've been here.
So you're at 5 right now, is what you're saying?
We're at 5 right now. We need. We're actually at. I'll tell you what we have now. We have Don King, Dolomansky, Kurt Haas, and Mike Laubach would be my 4 full-time people. We had 5 full-time people. We don't have that anymore. We have 4 full-time people, and then we have Tim Doyle, who was a full-time person, but now is a seasonal, but he's not going to be here until May 1st. And then we had a maintenance guy that worked 20 hours a week. That was my 6 people. So
you had 4 full-time and 2 part-time?
basically, yeah. One's 35 hours or less. And it's seasonal, only 6 months.
Oh, we talked about bringing these guys up to 40 hours. Would that fill any of these voids or holes?
No, it's when you break it down, it's only an extra hour a day. You know what I mean? So it's going to fill the void for the seasonal employee, basically, who's not here 6 months of the year. The biggest problem we have is that we're the busiest from May to the end of October. And we need all the people, because we're just ongoing. We can't even keep up with the regular maintenance, like, let's say sanding, fencing around the park, say, painting things or power washing, mildew and stuff that's up on the side of the building. We can't even keep up. We have the concrete peeling off, and so we have to do a lot of outsourcing now for electrical work and stuff like that, because we can't do the minor electrical work anymore because we're doing the other stuff. So if we keep outsourcing, it's going to come off the bottom line for our revenue because we don't have enough staffing to do the little maintenance that pops up. I mean, for example, if we have problems with the heating system, we have to outsource the voice and drain to do that because we don't have the time to put somebody on that project, spend that amount of time doing that because we have to maintain the other parts of the park. So if I don't have 6 people like I've had for all these past years, and I cut back to 5.5, let's say, because one's seasonal, I'm going backwards instead of going forward, and it's affecting my ability to bring in revenue because we're not keeping up with everything, and things are going to start costing the town more money to maintain. We'll have to outsource.
Okay. All right, we're gonna see what we can do for you. And did anybody else have anything for Mark?
Nope.
All right, Mark, we're gonna see what we can do for you, and I'll talk to you sometime tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep, bye.
All right, bye now.
Okay.
I mean, sorry about creating such a whirlwind here, but my concern is you don't have enough staff at town hall.
Right, are we putting it out there that we need help at town hall?
Wayne,
Can't find it?
I talked to Dwayne, you on?
Yep, I'm here.
I talked to this guy yesterday about a guy's got an application in, and I personally know the guy. I know he's a heck of a worker. But, everybody don't want to clean, I guess, but I said, maybe you could have him give him a full-time job for our building and maybe, Gavin Park, but he never got back to me. So I'll call him in the morning and see how we made out with the guy. Maybe he never, maybe he's talked to him and I don't know what's going on, but we do have a guy who will work.
Right. I mean, I understand that. It
But
just,
we've never had anybody apply. We've had that job in our building for months now and
Nobody wants it.
applies, or they say they're gonna take it and then they call back and change their mind. So I don't know what's going on.
I know. And again, I'm not trying to create problems. It's just my concern is town hall, we're taking a half an item away.
But I gotta say that Roy and him are doing a good, that building's always clean now. They're doing, but they should have other help. They got more
Yep.
things coming.
Now we're gonna be in the mowing
But,
season
but,
and prep
but I
season.
gotta give them credit. They are doing a heck of a job.
Right. During the summer, they're gonna be really spread thin and try to maintain interior of the buildings is my
Right.
concern.
Right.
So I mean, I would like to hold off on and keep them split for another month or so until we can backfill that item. So this way, both the park and town hall share the item and both can benefit from the part-time items. I mean, if Scott doesn't need them, he could send them to the park for the day or vice versa, and to make up until we can fill the items.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, whatever the board wants, but that's my concern.
What are we
I
going?
get it. You don't necessarily want to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Correct.
And is it that this whole cemetery bit that's kind of coming up, that's highway department or is that Scott's department? Who will then be-
Highway,
Okay.
highway, it's highway.
Okay,
Right, but the scout camp and everything is Scott.
Right.
right.
So. I mean,
What's-
unfortunately, we can't get people to
Let's try and
take
get a couple
jobs.
of those things through.
What's the town looking
So we
for?
all for the full-time event coordinator,
Absolutely.
coordinator,
That's replacing one. Yes.
Yep.
and that part-time activities director for summer camp. Are we in favor of that, to put ads in the paper and try and fill those
Yeah.
two spots? Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All in
Agreed.
favor? All right.
Aye.
You want to hold up on the part-timer then,
What part-timer?
with this
Right.
Mike guy, what you just talked all about?
So the Mike, that's a full-time guy.
Right, Mike is full-time.
Right, he's full-time, but the way it was,
I think he means in reference to splitting it, right, John?
right, yeah, that's it.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause
Thanks, Mark.
I know at
Thanks.
one time, the town hall had 3 full-time and 1 part-time item.
Right, no,
And we're
right.
down to 2.
right.
Well, I know that Deputy Supervisor McCuckern said he was going to be talking with Mark and maybe have a conversation also with Scott. And so to Dwayne's point, to make sure that if this individual is sent down to the park, full time, or maybe 3/4 of the time, whatever it might be, that,
We
they're
don't
not,
need I don't think it requires a motion.
Yeah.
Just basically, hey, you got him.
All right.
or-
We can take them.
We just keep moving on.
Yes.
Well, the town, as far as I'm concerned, whoever needs them the most should get them.
Right,
If it happens to be the park, let it be the park. If it happens to be town hall 1 day a week, then it has to be town hall until we can fill this void.
Correct.
okay, all right. Right, another thing John brought up, before this COVID, me and John was at a meeting and we told them they could go to 40 hours, because I like to get things caught up at Gavin Park, get it back to where it was, and that's not an hour, that's like 16 to 20 hours more they can put into it. And they were willing to now just take a half-hour lunch. And we did promise them that, and then COVID come out, so we didn't follow through with it, we stopped it. And I think we all agreed to it at the one time, but I'd like to get that back and let them work 40 hours a week. And Maria suggested like a 6-month trial basis, see how it works out.
And that's because they're working 35 hours now.
Right,
So basically, we've gone from 35 hours a week to 40 hours a week.
Right.
And that's at the park?
Right. And we
Right.
do that with the highway
So
now.
we're increasing the park employees' hours by 5 hours.
Right.
So then theoretically, they could
That's what I
still
brought.
give Michael time to come down to work at town hall then.
That's what I.
It could.
We just increased 5 employees by 5 hours, so that's 25 extra hours a week. We
That's
have
what I
the
mentioned
other
to Mark
employees.
that while he was on the phone. And
Right,
he said it's an hour, basically an hour a day per person.
right.
I was hoping that would ring the bell to, all right, we should be able to still use this guy wherever we need to use him, which we can anyways. As far as I'm concerned. If the park needs him, he's at the park. If town hall needs him, he's at the town hall. I mean,
So who's going to make that determination? Because I can see where both are, he's going to be pulled back and forth both directions.
Supervisor Land.
I'm not sure, I'm
I'll
not sure
second
where
that
they,
motion.
I'm not sure where they fall under, but that can be figured out later. We'll throw that on Maria.
Right. So you want to let them start working 40 hours?
I do.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody in favor?
Agreed. Aye.
Okay, thank you.
And this is a point of clarification, that would be starting with the next pay period, April 27th, just for,
Correct.
like John had said, we're thinking about doing a trial basis, see how it shakes out. We might end up with somebody saying, you know what, I don't really want to work 40 hours, I want to work 35 hours. So we're going to see how it all comes down. So more personnel items. Charles Merchant, who is a highway laborer, has submitted his resignation. It's effective April 15th of 2021, and the board should accept his resignation.
Didn't we just hire him last year?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Make a motion to approve the.
Does he want to go to the town?
Got a second?
Want to go to town hall?
Yeah, right.
Who seconded that? I'm sorry.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
I was being serious. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, Kirk is looking to hire Zach Infield to fill the laborer's position that was just vacated by Charles Merchant. The proposed start date for Mr. Infield is April 19th, 2021. The suggested rate of pay is base rate $15.53.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Now, this Noah Gordon that we're looking at, is he going to be a laborer also?
He is going to be a seasonal laborer. Yes, he's going to be hired at $16 an hour, which is more.
What's
Go
the
ahead.
pay rate? What's the pay difference? The reasoning for the pay difference?
Part-time.
He is seasonal, and so he will be requested to come back year after year at the same rate. Basically, it doesn't go up the way the full-time laborer will go up on the step scale year after year. So
And no insurance.
no
So
insurance.
he's seasonal winter or seasonal summer?
He's going to be seasonal summer. He's seasonal summer to help with flagging and so forth for road maintenance, paving.
Now,
Yeah,
he was a separate line though, I'm correct? We're voting on, we're voting on the other. cell.
Two.
Right.
Second.
D2.
so D is taken care of. So E is Noah Gordon to be hired as a seasonal laborer.
Seasonal guy.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
it.
Okay, for Zach Enfield, I missed who made that motion.
I made the motion on both of them.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then, all right.
Okay. Moving right along.
One more, guys. in there.
Aye.
So Ryan is requesting that Josh Carlson, who is our land use administrator and Zoom facilitator extraordinaire, be granted compensatory time while administering our virtual meetings. And I wholeheartedly am grateful to Josh.
And Josh has done a great job ever since he's worked at the town, mainly with these Zoom meetings. On one heck of a job for all of us.
Right, And he started out by helping on the town board meetings, and now he's also helping out on zoning board and planning board meetings as well. So it's a lot of time and effort that Josh puts in. We're all very grateful to him. So we'd like to see him be granted compensatory time for his time that he's, putting in after hours, so to speak.
Josh,
make a
is he
motion.
compensating you correctly? I know that Ryan, he's slippery sometimes.
Maria's keeping an eye on it.
That's right.
I would think between the 3 board meetings, he probably a full-time compensatory job.
Right.
Yeah. He's ready for that part-time job at town hall.
I think he's also done our committee meetings, I think, too.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I'll make that motion.
You got a
Absolutely.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, pass. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Yes.
You know what we'll have to do in the future is we're going to have to talk faster during meetings so that we don't tie up too much of Josh's time.
Yep. So last item is other. Tina Weber, who's our assessor, is requesting a monthly standardized reimbursement for her phone, and the monthly reimbursement rate is $30 a month.
I'll make a motion, accept.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, approved.
Okay, the next item B, Mark Marino is requesting the board to approve the sale of certain items on Auctions International. There's a series of 5 items. There's 4 1,500-watt sodium floodlights, a steel roller, which is about 4 feet, 2 full-size plexiglass basketball backboards with protective padding and 2 basketball hoops, and 3 pallets of concrete block and a fuel tank of 275 gallons.
Make a motion to allow them to put them on Auctions International.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
And the last item is Kirk Woodcock is requesting to sell miscellaneous items on Auctions International, and some examples include oil filters, a power broom, belts, and metal shavings.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome, thank you all.
Josh is on the clock. Let's go.
Does anybody got anything on the committee reports?
If I could just mention 2 things briefly.
Yep.
This Tuesday, Superintendent Patton from the school district, the 2 co-principals at the Dorothy Nolan School, the SRO coordinator for the county, facilities supervisor, and a couple of other folks who all met over at Dorothy Nolan just so that the folks at the school could be introduced to Brandon August, who's the deputy that is covering the town. Nice meeting. Everybody exchanged contact information. Let's see. And that's about it on that. And one other thing that, maybe for a future town board meeting effort tonight, but just to bring up the issue is, as everybody knows, the state legislature, the governor, approved recreational marijuana sales that are going to affect next year.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about, I got that on my report, Ray.
And I'll let you handle it, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay. You got anything else, Ray?
No, I'm good to go. Thank you.
All right, anybody else? How'd you make on that roof? Did you do anything over the town building, Dwayne, when he was over there, me and you talking?
No, Scott and I talked, and we're still looking into more
All right.
detail on it.
Okay. All right, going back to that, number 11, Public Employees Health Emergency Plan. I just want to thank Maria, Sue Baldwin, and Nancy for keeping up on all this stuff, the rules and regulations of the state, keep us out of trouble. They all do a heck of a job, and there's probably other people, but they put a lot of time into that. And Bobby Williams plays a big part into that too. So we're lucky we got them all, believe me.
Thank you, Maria Sue.
Well
Because I
done.
talk a lot of supervisors in the county, and they're always telling me how lucky we are, us guys in Wilton, to have the staff we have, believe me. Ray talked about that marijuana, and Ryan approached me and Mark, And I don't think it should be sold all over the town of Wilton. So they suggested look at the zoning and pick out some spots so we keep it all. So I'd like to do that. If anybody's got any suggestions, I don't know if that's what you wanted to bring up, Ray. I figured it was, but
Yeah, well, you know,
so we keep it all.
yeah, I was bringing up, two things because the supervisor and I talked about it the other day a little bit. And one option is to, have a zoning allowance for it. And the other option is already multiple municipalities that have reached a decision that they would rather not have retail sales of marijuana within their communities. So that's another thing we may want to look at.
Can we do
down the
that?
road. What's that?
Can we do that?
Yeah, there's a provision in the law. I was reading it this morning. It's a provision in the law that if a community, a village, a town, a city wants to opt out, they have the ability to opt out. I don't know exactly how that legislation would be constructed, and perhaps Mark Shackner, I don't know if you've already had any contact from other municipalities that you represent, but
I think this may be something we should send out to the town to get the town's consensus on it.
Yeah, the incentive for allowing sales in the community is a host community gets 3% of the sales tax.
Right, it's huge.
Or I'm sorry, 3% of the sales. Yeah,
Right, it's you. That's
sales.
huge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did a little figuring, and if you sold $1 million worth of the product in town, you get $30,000. And for a town that has no tax and a multi-million-dollar surplus, I don't think that's a meaningful amount of money.
Right, but I think it's more than $1 million. From what
It depends. It's going to, it depends on how many retail locations, how many dispensaries. So if every town's got one, then,
Right.
Do we have to wait for the county to make a decision? Like, are we waiting for anything to come down from the county?
I don't think so.
No, not from the county, from the state, but not from the county.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it kind of trickled down or not.
I think we should do a survey at some point.
We could be on the ballot in November.
Yesterday, I'm at a county meeting and we got a group, they're looking for money from the county to help people with addictions, which is alcohol, drugs, mental illness, which I think is a great thing to try and help people. And then 3 days before you read in the paper, state wants to legalize marijuana. I just can't, it's just goofy, as far as I'm concerned.
I hear you.
If it helps sick people, maybe it's good. I don't know that much about it. I never used it myself, so I can't tell you.
Don't knock it till you try it, Chief.
Yeah. Anybody got any? Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine.
I think it's a good time to motion to adjourn.
No, I got one.
No.
Yeah, you're right. You're probably right. Open our buildings. Most of our, well, thank God the county's come up, taking care of most of our employees. I'd like to think 98% of our employees are probably had one shot or two. So when I talked to Sue, I'd like to get these buildings open and move on. And I asked Sue what she thought about a date, but I'd like to get it open in a couple of weeks if we could. Start having our meetings. But I want to get everybody's opinion. I think a lot of people I know a lot of people in the county are getting these shots now. There's a lot in Wilton are getting them too, just besides our employees.
The only building I have a little concern on would be the senior center.
Right.
And
Yeah, I think we just need to discuss.
So did
the rules
Robin
are gonna
ever, I asked Nancy to reach out to her last week and see how they come along with their shots. I thought she said most of them have been done.
Last I talked to Robin, they were doing a great job of getting vaccinated or getting their appointments and things like that. But I still think we just want to proceed with caution and.
right,
Well, of course.
a little bit slower maybe with the seniors as far as.
Right. That's what I think. But
Like
I'd
a
like to see that.
transitional-
I'd like to see our town hall get open in the court building.
You
Couple of
mean
weeks.
regular meetings?
That too, next month.
Josh,
No, there goes your overtime.
Oh, Josh, I'm
Sorry
sorry.
about those couple hours, Josh.
Hey, listen, hey, Josh, how about taking that cleaning job for the place? Huh?
So we're going to plan on having an in-person meeting on May 6th. Is that what the plan is? I just
I
need
would-
to know
I would,
for the
I would
legal
like to
ads.
see that.
You'll have those public hearings, don't forget.
Yes, that's my question.
That gives me time to get a new suit.
Does, is there still a capacity limit and all that stuff in effect?
I imagine.
And
There
even
is
if
right-
we,
If
Yeah,
the
there is
county
right
had set
now.
up-
Right now, there is, yeah.
Yeah, there's still one.
and even if we did open the building, we could still have a Zoom meeting, but I just need to know one way or the other.
I think we should always do.
Still in luck, Josh, still in luck.
I think the Zoom is a good option for people who can't get out at night, you
Yeah.
know, and do in person and Zoom probably wouldn't hurt if we could do that, Josh.
It complicates things.
Does it?
Yeah, it gets
Yeah.
very complicated with the video, and we aren't set up right now to be able to do that. Because think about it, you're going to need a screen in the meeting room. You're going to need some additional equipment. It just makes it a little more complicated, especially having two public hearings.
Yeah. You know, I sit on a couple of different boards where, since the pandemic started, where we've tried to do both in person and also using, it's a Citrix system called WebEx, and trying to keep communication consistent between the people that are live and the people that are remote. Turned out to be very problematic. And we had folks like Josh who were very competent, at the IT kind of stuff. And so we decided it's either going to be all in person or it's going to be all remote. Trying to do a hybrid is a real challenge.
I have a couple kids that can fill you in on that too.
Would you rather wait another month, see what happens?
I would wait one more month.
Yeah.
All right. Is that what y'all want to do?
Yeah.
I
So-
agree.
We're going to do a Zoom meeting for
Alright.
May 6th.
Correct.
Yes.
Will the building open? That was my other in between.
Don't sound like it.
Okay. All right.
Well, you can open, you're talking the town building open?
Yeah.
That's up to the supervisor. I don't think that had anything to do with our meeting.
No, I don't.
Did you want to open the building, John?
Yeah.
Okay, we can open the
I
building.
want
and-
everybody to be in agreement. I want everybody to be in agreement.
Again, my only concern is the senior center. I don't-
Right, that is separate, right.
Right, separate from this.
Yeah, I agree that we could open the buildings because then we won't have a capacity problem opening the buildings. Only a capacity problem would come up during a meeting.
Meetings,
Yeah.
Correct.
correct.
And I would have visitors still wear a mask,
Right.
Oh, of course, we still have,
all that jazz.
we still got rules, things
Yep.
that have to go by.
Sign in sheet with the mask.
Right, we'll keep doing all that stuff.
I think
Yep.
the next couple of weeks, we can discuss that with the senior center too. Just what the
Okay.
capacity is gonna look like, maybe a rotational basis, sign in.
I know.
Maybe we can talk to the county physician and get a recommendation from him.
Yes.
Sure.
I agree with opening it, but it's certainly, it's not gonna be pre-COVID,
Mhm.
like,
Right.
Yep.
we'll have to work our way in.
So for now, we open minus the seniors.
Right,
And
With
a
this-
Zoom meeting for May 6th.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
when do you want to open it, so? Couple weeks, what do you want to do? Yeah, I just want I want this, I don't know if you talked to anybody today, I want the workers just to feel safe in the building.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing everything. If people coming into the vestibule are wearing their masks. Anybody who has entered the building has signed in. I
Would you
think
rather,
we're
would you
we're
rather wait,
prepared.
would you rather wait another month? So,
Or what if we limit it, like we talked about at the beginning, like putting that sign up so that getting to the planning and zoning department, there's a sign, no public entrance. So the vestibule area, they can come in as long as they're masked, because you've got the plexiglass windows and everything, but maybe nothing beyond that point. Mark Shatner?
I mean, some towns are doing limited opening on by appointment only.
Maybe we should transition like that for a month or two.
How about I reach out to all the department heads tomorrow, and then I'll get back to everybody.
Well, we're okay with it. So regardless of what you want to do.
All right. All right,
I
let
think
me
it's a
do
great
that.
idea.
Yeah,
All
mine
right.
is-
Thank
And
you.
you will, Aaron, happy birthday. I'll tell you one thing, for you and my daughter, same age, you look pretty good, you old girls, because you are old now.
Thank God for hair color.
Yes, you will reach out to Robin if you get a chance. Aaron,
Yeah, definitely.
all right. Thank you all.
Okay.
Anybody got anything else?
No.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Again.
everybody have a good night.
all.
Good night.
Okay, everybody.
Night. Thank you.
Night.
Good night, everybody.